Hi Virgo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your March 2026 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who have liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a 12 card spread with each of those cards representing a different house of the zodiac, starting with your sign, Virgo, as the first house, all the way through to Leo, representing the 12th house. And once we get through all of that, we'll actually pull an oracle card as well for some additional insight. As far as the decks being used this month, for the main tarot deck, we have the Spirit Keeper's Tarot, and for the Oracle card, we have the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. And we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling out some astrology as we have in front of us to get an idea where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have 8. So, 8th house for you guys is Aries, and there's quite a bit going on there already. We have Chiron that's been there for quite some time. Recently, Saturn and Neptune both moved back into Aries as well. Let's see what else. Venus will move in there on the 6th of March. Of course, the Sun will move in there on the 20th of March. I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting too. That might be it. But yeah, well, obviously that's plenty though. But in general, 8th house points to death, rebirth, intimacy, and investments. We have Gemini. So for you guys, Gemini is your 10th house of career and social status. Now that area of the zodiac is pretty quiet for now, but of course there could be some changes around that area of life for you guys. And we have Neptune. So yeah, so we were just talking about how Neptune's one of many things currently going through your 8th house, and that would be Aries. So we'll keep that in mind as well. And in general, Neptune on the more positive end of the spectrum could point to spirituality, strong intuition. On the more negative side of things, it could point to some delusion, addictions, but we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. All right, so starting with the first house, which points to personality, self-awareness, and appearance, we have the 9 of Orbs. So this is actually a Virgo energy here, the equivalent of the 9 of Pentacles in traditional tarot. So yeah, so especially for those of you with your main Virgo placement within 10 to 20 degrees of the sign, you might feel this energy a little bit stronger, but I feel like this is saying that you're feeling more self-reliant this month. I feel like you're leaning more to your independent streak that you might go through from time to time, and just building something for yourself on your own at this time. All right, in the second house, which points to possession, self-worth, and finances, we have the 2 of Scepters. So we were speaking of Aries earlier. This is another Aries energy here. So yeah, so a second house and 8th house connection is usually pretty natural when it comes to astrology. But yeah, seeing this here could just be saying that maybe there are some new starts that you're embracing when it comes to your finances. Possibly something that you're even planning on launching when we get closer to Aries season toward the end of March. And if that's the case, I feel like this is saying, especially in this deck, given that they referred to this card as the discerning one, I feel like this is something that you would have given some thought to. So maybe to others, it might look like a rash decision on your part. I feel like this is something you'd been weighing for quite some time before taking action. All right, so for the third house, representing communication, short journeys, and siblings, we have the 6 of Swords. So this is actually an Aquarius energy here. We do see the Mercury symbolism right on the card itself. But yeah, seeing this here, I feel like this is saying that you might actually go through some healing conversations this month. 6 of Swords is often referred to an energy of moving to calmer waters, right? And I feel like with this deck in particular, too, you could see how there's those 5 swords behind this person. And if we think of 5 of swords, that could be an energy of conflict, right? Maybe ego battles. And I feel like this is saying to see this energy here says to me that there's probably going to be some kind of a conversation that can be had this month. It might actually help you realize that, yeah, maybe there was a situation in the past. There was a bit of an ego conflict, and now you and the other party are able to look at things through a different lens and actually heal that past situation. And, with that in mind, this does seem like a good time to bring up, of course, that there will be a Mercury retrograde that's just about to kick off here, and it will be in your opposite sign, too. So, retrogrades can sometimes have a bad rep, but at the same time, when it comes to a situation that was already off the rails, sometimes these retrogrades could be good for helping heal those situations. So I feel like it's leaning more toward that direction for you guys this month. All right, so for the fourth house, which represents home, roots, family, we have the Four of Chalices. So this is Cancerian energy here. So yeah, so maybe this is saying that you might be looking back on things that you might have held with you since your early upbringing and maybe finding that they don't quite fit your life philosophy at this time, right? So it's like, okay, these were beliefs instilled in me from a younger age, but now as I've gotten older and I look at these things again, I'm like, they don't really fit with where I am in my life now, right? So there could be some shedding of those old beliefs there, or maybe even trying to merge them, right? Like, okay, where does this fit from my past from where I am currently, right? Is there a way I can merge those things? But yeah, I feel like there could be a bit of a feeling of disappointment, though, right? That you did believe some of the things you did for as long as you did. Now that you feel like the reality is showing that that wasn't really the case to begin with. All right, so for the fifth house, we have the Last Judgment. Well, in this deck, it has quite the dramatic name of the Apocalypse. But yeah, seeing this here, I feel like this is saying, especially for you guys, fifth house points to romance, creativity, children. Could just be saying that maybe there's going to be an opportunity coming back around. So maybe even linked to that Six of Swords energy we were talking about, where there will be some new light shed on a past situation that actually helps you see things from a different angle. So even if it doesn't mean directly reconnecting with that thing from the past, at the very least, I feel like there's going to be something that shows you that the situation from your past wasn't quite what you thought it was, and helps bring you peace around the situation. So again, like I said, whether the other party is actually present for that or not could go either way. But either way, I feel like there's going to be some healing around it. All right, so in the sixth house, which points to health, work, and daily routines, we have Archangel Commander. So this is basically the equivalent of the King of Swords, which is Aquarius energy, which actually is the natural sixth house for you. So that's a good thing to see here. I feel like this is saying that you're going to be very sharp when it comes to your daily routines. Your health is going to be pretty strong. And yeah, I feel like just any communication that you might need to have around the workplace, I feel like it'll be received well, right? The message will come across clearly. Again, like we said, definitely a good thing to hear, given that there will be that Mercury retrograde energy in the air. All right, so for the seventh house, which points to partnerships, contracts, relationships, we have the Seeker. So in this deck, this is actually one of the Fool energies. So there's actually three of those in this deck, and this particular one says Spirit in Search of Science. So what I'm getting from this could just be saying that maybe as time has gone on, maybe what you look for in partnerships has changed a bit, right? So now, all right, a super generic way this could be playing out, right? Maybe used to enter into partnerships, let's just say romantic relationships, right, with a more surface level, superficial type of energy to them. And now this could just be saying that now you might actually realize that you want something deeper, right? So maybe something where you feel like the person you're with could actually teach you something, right? You can learn from them, they can learn from you, but there's something deeper than just a surface level attraction. It tends to be something that I would envision you guys looking for in general, right? But obviously, not everyone's going to be the same. So maybe this is one of those things where even if you did seek that at one point, maybe you've gone off that path for a bit. Especially, it could have been the result of having Neptune move into your seventh house for so long, and now you're reconnecting with, okay, yeah, been there, done that, right? Maybe it wasn't the best fit for me. Let me get back on this path. And yeah, and that doesn't have to be just romantic connections, right? It could be any kind of partnership that you enter into where you feel like, okay, I want to feel like not only can I be of service to them and teaching them things, but they could also do the same for me. All right, so eighth house, which as we said, we have Neptune there, among many other things. going through Aries for you guys. But in the 8th house, as far as the tarot goes, we have the 8 of Orbs. And that's referred to as the Journeyman in this deck, which is a Virgo energy. So we see you guys popping up here in the 8th house too. What I'm getting from this could just be saying that maybe you just have picked up a lot of experiences through your life, and maybe will continue to do so. But I feel like this is saying through those experiences, those are actually going to serve as valuable investments for you, right? So in general, 8th house could point to death, rebirth, and some seed investments. So here, what I'm getting is that these moments that you might have gone through, right? Maybe you found yourselves with odd jobs, right? Or in groups that maybe didn't seem to work with you on the surface, but you still learned something valuable from them, right? I feel like this is saying that all those things accumulated over time and actually will benefit you in the long run. But I feel like this is just saying that you've collected these unique experiences and now you're actually seeing what they were meant to show you and actually able to use them to your benefit. All right, so for the 9th house, which for you guys is Taurus, and in general, 9th house points to philosophy, higher learning, foreign affairs, we have the Shining Quarry. So this is actually the equivalent of the Knight of Pentacles, which is again more Virgo energy. So to see you guys here too, like I said, I can see a connection there. Where, like I said, maybe you're just looking back on experiences that you had in your past and realizing that they were actually big learning and growth opportunities for you. That, again, maybe in a moment you didn't realize or see much value in them, but now you're like, oh, okay, actually, experience ABC, right, were really beneficial for me in the here and now, and I could put them to use in where I'm trying to go now. So that's what I'm seeing with that. And this could also just be saying that maybe you're exposing yourself to more things too, right? Maybe slowly, but like we said, especially if you become a little bit jaded with the beliefs you might have held from an early age and you're seeking something that's a better fit for you now, this could just be saying maybe you are exploring different, belief systems, different philosophies, but, not just diving in head first, but just exploring them a little bit, right? Seeing what fits, what doesn't. Is there something better out there? But that's what I'm getting with that. All right, so for your 10th house, which in general points to career and social status, we have the Ace of Swords, the crowning. So, given that it specifically says the crowning, I mean, most of the decks does show a crown energy with the sword piercing it anyway. Could just be saying that maybe you have a bit of an awakening around your career, right? Maybe, again, like I said, looking back on these past journeys that you might have viewed as not all that significant, but now realizing that, whoa, actually, these are the exact tools that I need in this moment. Didn't realize it back then, but hey, here they are now, and there's actually a perfect opportunity for me to use them. But if not that, it could even just be saying that for some of you, maybe there could be some promotions at play as well. Maybe a mixture of the two, but that's what I'm seeing with that. All right, so for the 11th house, which points to friendships, groups, hopes, and wishes, we have the Archangel of Mysteries. So this is basically the equivalent of the King of Pentacles, and that's actually Taurus energy as well. So to see this in the 11th house, well, it makes me think of currently in Taurus, there is Uranus transiting through there, which is Uranus is the natural ruler of the 11th house. So yeah, it could just be one of those things where maybe there's even a friendship that you might have made, right, with someone who might be quite a bit different from you on the one hand, but at the same time, they might have, through your interactions with them, taught you some valuable lessons that, again, like I said, I feel like they might be coming back up to the surface. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be an interesting Mercury retrograde for you guys because I feel like it's going to put you in a bit of a reflective mood, but in doing so, it's going to help you realize that, hey, these experiences that in the moment just felt like, okay, it's just life. Right now, you're like, whoa, those are actually pretty important moments that I'm actually able to use to my advantage in the present moment to propel myself forward. All right. And in the 12th house, which points to spirituality, blind spots, and mental health, we have the healer. So this is actually the equivalent of the star in traditional tarot, which is yet more Aquarius energy. So yeah, to see this come up here, maybe that's what some of you are coming to a realization around, right? Is that maybe that through these experiences you've gone through, right? So maybe all of them weren't even positive, quite frankly, but maybe even the more negative experiences, maybe then teaching you something that maybe you didn't realize in the past, but you're realizing in the now, are actually going to help you heal others, right? So maybe just through telling those stories of what you went through, right? Or you might cross paths with people who are going through something similar now. And that helps you recall that, hey, I was in that position before too. I could actually help this person navigate through those energies. So this could be something that you could be experiencing this month, possibly on more than one occasion. And I mean, on top of the Mercury retrograde we were talking about as well, there will also be a full moon eclipse in your sign on the 3rd of March. So that could be a very powerful energy for you guys as well. And I might bring some of these things to the forefront for you. Especially because, that eclipse is going to be conjunct the South Node in your sign pretty much. So it's one of those things where, like I said, maybe these things that happened in your distant past that you might not have really had immediate recall of might come back up to the surface, but in a more positive sense, in more of a healing way versus bringing up old pain, old wounds. So that would be a positive there. But something to keep in mind with that. All right, and bottom of the deck we have the Four of Scepters. So this is Four of Wands energy in traditional tarot, yet more Aries energy, believe it or not. So yeah, this could just be saying that maybe you do end up finding a partnership that works out for you. So again, could it be romantic? Sure. But eighth house energy could also just be more of a partnership based on finances, investing, right? But whatever the case, I feel like this is just saying that you're gonna find some positive connections this month. And again, I feel like there's going to be a link to past experiences you might have had. So could that be the same person from the past physically returning? Possibly. Or if not that, experiences from your past playing out in the present in a much more positive way. But we'll see what the Oracle card adds to the mix. So like I said, we are going to pull a card from the Wisdom of the Oracle. Just going to give this a few shuffles, then we'll cut the deck and pull a card. All right, take this card here. Let me get this out of the way, and then we'll see what cards you got. All right, we have Time to Go. There's the artwork, and the number is 45. So interesting, right? Because now seeing this makes me think of the artwork with the Six of Swords, right? The Seeker, like we said, spirit in search of science. So this could put a little bit of a different spin on the spirit, but we'll see what it says in the book. All right, essential meanings says endings, completion, walking away from something because there is nothing else to learn or experience. The Oracle's message: you are at the end of one journey and have not yet begun the next. This is the moment to bless your experience thus far. Take stock of what you've learned. It's time to move on to new experiences and a new way of being. There is nothing left for you to do, be, or experience in your present circumstances. Take the risk and move on, even if you need to be in transition for a time. Your destiny is calling you. That was interesting there, especially that last sentence of your destiny is calling you, right? Because I kept picking up on looking back on past situations, right? That, like I said, in the moment, maybe they didn't feel all that pivotal, but now somehow they're popping back up to the surface, and you're realizing that, oh, these actually were very valuable experiences that I can use in the now. So that message there seemed to align with that. But let's keep going. The relationship message says it's over, or at the very least, the form this relationship has taken is no longer of service to you or the other person. This is a time of letting go, with knowing that the journey has come to its conclusion. It doesn't mean anything is lost. Although this card could speak to a breakup, drifting apart, or the end of a soul contract, it is more about release than destruction. Remember the saying, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back, it's yours. If not, it never was. Endings are always a sign of new beginnings. If you want something deeper, walk away. So again, that last sentence seemed pretty significant too, right? Where it says, if you want something deeper, walk away. Because we went through the whole discussion there with the seventh house, right? Where, like I said, maybe you found yourselves in connections that, again, which, like I said, wouldn't normally be what you would picture Virgo to do. But like I said, maybe with Neptune in your seventh, that was part of it, right? Where there was a little bit of a cloudy energy in that area of life for you guys. But like I said, maybe you realized that, oh, maybe I was attracted to more superficial connections for a while, but now I want something that's deeper, right? Something where I feel like I can learn from them, they can learn from me. But that message seemed to align with that. So if that's a situation you're dealing with, hopefully that resonated. And then the prosperity message says, this message is clear. The path you've been on with your work, creative projects, and business alliances have come to an end. You will not find the success you desire by continuing with what is now in front of you. This is an auspicious sign because there is no choice that will benefit you other than risking stepping into the unknown. It is time to walk towards something new. This card also pertains to the more neutral concept of completion. You've finished your task and can rest assured that this ending will open up a powerful new avenue of opportunity, even better than any you can imagine. You have done all you can. Now trust that Spirit keeps the plan moving forward. Fortune requires you to conclude this chapter of your life. And remember that when you close one door, another opens. So that was an interesting message there as well. So reading that message and seeing the Ace of Swords here could be putting a bit of a different spin on that as well, right? Where maybe that's the realization that you guys are coming to, like, this doesn't really do it for me anymore, right? Maybe it did at one point. And again, if that's the case, I feel like maybe these past experiences of yours coming back up to the surface are helping nudge you in that direction, right? Where, like I said, maybe you might realize that, oh, actually I have this ability to bring healing to people, right? So maybe you've been in a more traditional career path, and now you're like, actually, maybe this is something that's calling to me more now, and here's the experiences I've gone through that would actually help me in being successful at that. So definitely an interesting reading there. And then now I feel like this card does add the heightened element of the fact that there will be that eclipse in your sign. So maybe there will be a bit more change for some of you than it initially seemed on the surface. But that's the case. Hopefully that resonated for you guys, and we'll wrap up there. All right, bye.